Welcome, everyone, to the Hardin Local Weekly Podcast. I'm Rachel Brantingham, and we're so glad you're here with us today. A little bit of a different background. My kiddos are doing NTI, as I'm assuming probably all of yours are as well. So we've got a really special show for you. Hope Burke, the Executive Director of Helping Hands for Hope, is joining us to talk about how they're serving our community, especially after the Winter Storm Fern. And then Jon, of course, has our local events. I'm excited to hear about those. I'll, of course, share our weekly housing market update. And Britten and Michele are back with an experienced eater review of Lee's famous recipe. I was just commenting on, as a Kentucky native, I think I've only probably ever been to Lee's maybe once or twice. So I'm excited. And it's not been recently. So I'm excited looking at Britten's face. Also, a special shout out. It's Britten's birthday today. So he's joining us on his birthday. But first, I want to introduce all of our amazing co-hosts. So we have Phil Tall, our creator of Hardin Local. Scott Lucas joined us as our co-host extraordinaire. Hi, Scott.
Hey.
We've got Jon O'Brien, our events guru. And then, of course, Britten and Michele McDowell, your local experienced eaters. And, of course, this is the beautiful Hope Burke. We're so happy to have you today. Brian is out this week. He just returned from vacation late last night and will rejoin us next week. I know you're all going to miss him. So before we get started, I just want to make sure everyone knows how to stay connected with us. Once again, we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. So if you enjoy listening or watching podcasts on those specific platforms, please follow us. And if you don't, but you have a friend or family member who does, please invite them to follow us. You can find all of the links that we mentioned from past episodes to today's episode. They're all available at hardinlocal.com. And of course, there's a full link tree where you can connect with each of us individually on our personal social channels. Follow us on LinkedIn and, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. And if you're watching today on Facebook, hit that follow button right now. And of course, as I mentioned, and you see throughout our episodes, please drop your comments in the chat box. We love to bring those up and answer them in real time if we can, or hit them all at the end. But we love to interact with you if there's things that we need to be aware of or know about going on in the community, or if you have a comment on anything that's shared today, we would love for you to drop that and we'll pull that up. Also, if you have any shout outs you want us to mention at the end of the show, once again, drop those and we'll announce them during our closing segment. Real quick, I want to thank today's sponsor, which is TekTel. TekTel is a local technology company right here in Elizabethtown that helps businesses run smoother and stay secure. They specialize in business phone systems, cybersecurity, and practical AI tools that reduce complexity and stress for growing companies. If you'd like to learn how TekTel can help your business, just comment TekTel on this video and visit hardinlocal.com for how to get in touch. And of course, Phil Tall is a partner in that company, so you can always reach out to him directly. So right before we went live, we were having like a little bunny trail about how scary AI is. So TekTel is a company that you need to partner with to protect your business. All right, guys. Phil?
Yes. I have an announcement about the Hardin local election interviews. I've extended the deadline until February 10th for anyone running for office to sign up for a free election interview. We currently have 20 candidates registered, but there are around 50 others who are running opposed. So if you're not running against anyone, we would love to have you as a special guest in the future. But these interviews are for the candidates with competition for their seat. So if you're one of those other 50 that haven't signed up yet, you have until February 10th. And we hope that you will sign. And just in case you're worried about the format, you can go to hardinlocal.com, scroll all the way to the bottom. It's the second section from the bottom. I've included a interview guidelines, how we're going to do it to make it fair for everybody. So you can read there how we're going to do it. And it will be extremely fair. And there'll be a way to track that too, because we're going to archive the live stream of each one with no edits or anything on them. That's what we're going to be doing. Also, Britten, I'm going to unmute. I muted you because there was feedback, but if you can mute yourself. Oh, no, you already did. I didn't want to leave you muted or you wouldn't be able to unmute yourself. Knowing me, I'll forget.
Perfect. Thank you, Phil. And I just want to emphasize this. If you are running for a local office and you want to get your voice heard, make sure that they would love to be able to interview you and have a conversation with you. So make sure you go to hardinlocal.com and sign up. So, all right, guys, I've got a fun icebreaker for everyone. So this is one of my favorite parts of the whole podcast because I get to hear from you guys individually about your personal lives. So what's the most ridiculous thing you've done so far to keep from going stir crazy during Winter Storm Fern? Or what unexpected skill are you discovering while stuck at home all of this time? Okay, don't everybody rush to go first.
Okay, so I started the 75 hard on the 1st, and I learned that I can have a frozen beard from jogging outside. That's one thing I learned. I did not know it was possible to just jog and have a frozen beard, but I did. But it's still there, not damaged any, so it's all right.
That honestly sounds horrible. I'm so sorry, but I'm so proud of you. I really am.
You taking pictures, Jon?
I did, yeah. I put it up on my story Monday, and everybody that came in the bar was like, "Hey, that AI was funny on your picture." I'm like, that wasn't AI. I was jogging in 4-degree weather, and my beard, like the moisture coming out of my mouth and my nose, froze and just stuck on my beard.
The question is, were you wearing shorts? Of course you was.
Of course, I'm outside. I have to wear shorts. Now, there were tights under the shorts, but I was wearing shorts, yes.
Hope, have you been doing anything interesting during all of this? Besides being on call 24 hours a day? No. So I think for me, I'm used to the snow because I lived on the East Coast, but like I don't like it here because I thought I was getting away with it. So I feel like my brain has just been like asking all these questions. And the other day, I literally looked at my family and I was like, either I need sleep or we need to get outside or something needs to happen because why don't they make B batteries? Like we have A batteries, AA, AAA, C, and D. Why is there not a B battery? Like things that are coming to my brain when I can't leave the house. And I'm like, this is when I know it's enough. Enough's enough. I hear you on that.
That is interesting because I've been trying to find batteries to replace all the dead things. That is one thing I did do this week, and I couldn't find, I don't know, there's just too many different types. So I'll go along with that. But I didn't rearrange. I did try to rearrange some stuff in my cabinet, but if you saw my cabinet, you would still think it's not arranged.
Well, hey, speaking of batteries, I undertook laptop surgery and changed out an internal battery on a laptop. Hands like this, doing something that delicate was not something I thought was possible, but we succeeded. We found success. And I think the other thing Michelle brought up that we recently discovered binge watching. We don't TV watch much, and so we finished a series and got halfway through another series in like a 12-hour day, which was a little bizarre for us.
I would agree with you. There's been several seasons of binge watching that have occurred over here. It's like just next. So, but you can get a lot of laundry folded while you're doing that. So,
but the thing that people don't talk about with binge watching is that while you're binge watching, it's great and like you can't wait to go to the next episode. It's like you can't see the next thing. But what nobody talks about is when the series is over, and then you go through this insane withdrawal from what you've been watching, and all of a sudden you're bored to death. You're even more bored than you were before. Does anyone think else to watch? Otherwise, you go stir crazy. So that's interesting.
do you remember the Netflix? It was a commercial that was aired during a Super Bowl because it was very memorable to me. But it's like a show hole, and she's like, the show ends, and she's sitting there on the couch, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm in a show hole." And it's like never be in a show hole because you can download Netflix and have endless amounts of episodes and things. But show holes are real.
So, just along these lines, I have a problem picking something because I have commitment issues, and so like I love to watch previews. And then I'm like, I'm the guy that I'll watch the previews that either I will find outlines of the show online and just read because I can read faster than I can watch, or I will, because I'm just like, it's really difficult for me to commit to a show that's great, that has all kinds of clips and reels. That's The Blacklist. I can't commit to 9 seasons of 25 episodes a season. I can't do that. And it's like how do you eat an elephant? I'm not even gonna take the first bite. I'm just like, no, I'm done. I'm out.
You should though. James Spader, he was great in Boston Legal. That was one of my favorite shows ever. It was a shorter series than that, but it's so good.
Commit. And then the other thing that happens is that he'll say, okay, well, let's sit down and watch something. Let's start something. And so we go to sit down, and he has 5,000 things in his like saved category. And then we sit there for an hour.
It's like going to Barbara.
Watching through everything, trying to decide on what to watch.
There's no we're here. There's no we. No.
Scroll on.
I'm committed that I want to watch it because I put it on my save list. It's her picking one that she'll go with.
Yeah. And then an hour later, we're still trying to figure out something to watch. It's like, just pick something. Pick it.
That sounds like that might be a battle you're fighting occasionally in your household.
I will tell you this, another thing. One day I was determined to watch all those Hallmark movies that I had saved. People can watch too much Hallmark in one day. I was like, I'm going to have to be committed if I watch another one or if I don't stop. Like, I was like, I can't anymore. I can't. And I was like, that is a thing. Like, you can watch too much in one day.
You know if there's a dude version of Hallmark movies?
Yes.
It's called Jason Statham. Every Jason Statham movie that he has made in the last 10 years is exactly the same plot. Exactly. Like, working beekeeper. I mean, all of them. That's dude is a you. The person.
All right, guys. Well, I love this dialogue. Are you guys ready to dive into a little interview with Hope about a Helping Hands for Hope? All right. So we have a very special guest joining us today, Hope Burke, the Executive Director of Hands of Hope. For over 54 years, Helping Hands of Hope has been serving our neighbors in Hardin County with emergency assistance, food, utilities, rental assistance, and so much more. And after Winter Storm Fern, their work has never been more critical. Hope, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I've gotten to know you really well. I sit on the board for Helping Hands for Hope, and I've just had the privilege of getting to know you. And then we recently got to sit with you and go deep dive into your story with Hometown Hustle. And so today we've asked you to come in and just kind of update us on what's happening here in our community. So tell us a little bit about the past week and how it has looked over at Helping Hands of Hope during this storm.
Okay. So we obviously had to close our store here, like Helping Hand of Hope had to close. And so I was pretty much on call for 24 hours a day during the storm because I told my staff, I was like, you all have something to do at home, but I'll answer all the emails, I'll answer all the calls, I'll answer all the messages. So for us, like for them, it was okay. Like they could still do like their 8 hours and be fine. But for me, it was like phone calls at 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, all of that because of the need. And I think even before the storm, it started like that Wednesday because we got like that bluff of little bit of snow, that we all had to close. But then it was that big situation on, Saturday, which it was more of the ice, snow, ice, kind of thing that was a little bit more than I think any of us were ready for. So it was just, I feel like chaos.
So we noticed there was an urgent post made. You mentioned that you're out of funding for the homeless transient program. Can you help our audience understand what that means for people in need right now and how those dollars are actually used?
Yes. So we have a transient program that we help people with either bus tickets, because a lot of times people, if we are full here with capacity, we can get them to Louisville, Bowling Green, somewhere else. Or maybe they have family somewhere that they've connected with, but they're just like, I can't get back home. So that allows bus tickets to be able to get back out of the area. Or we do the hotel vouchers, which during the storm, that was like for a week at a time because we were working with Room in the Inn to see if they were full. We were working with the Elizabethtown Police Department, seeing where they were at. And then we also provide gas because sometimes people are just like, I need gas to get somewhere. And so we help with that. Well, when I did the budget last year again, we just seen such an increase with the homeless population. Like, I don't think people honestly really realize how much is here in Hardin County. And so we're just constantly getting things, whether it's single parents have gotten evicted, it's fires, it's just mental health. It's just, unfortunate situations where people have found themselves homeless. And so when this started, I was like, okay, I have a budget of what I can do because we were really already over that budget for the year because we have already had like such a bad winter and different things that have happened. And by that day that I made that post, I had to message my executive team on the board and I was like, guys, I'm out of money. And so then it was those phone calls of, I can't help you. And so I'm usually not a person that tries to do like an urgent plea really fast, but I was like, I've got to put something out there. And even the money that was raised in 24 hours, we were out again. And so then we had a lot of people that were contacting us because I know our warehouse manager went out several times. We had people come by the office to pick up food boxes because they had neighbors that were stuck in their apartment complexes. our warehouse manager went out to deliver a food box to a woman that couldn't even get her meds. So he ended up driving her to the pharmacy because he was like, I can't let this woman not have her blood pressure medicine and heart medicine. So during that storm, we ended up giving out 65 food bags. I believe it's 40 something hygiene, but just in that week. And so it depleted our Clients Like Food Pantry. And our Clients Like Food Pantry is a little bit different because that's donation based only. And when our neighbors come in, they get to actually go in and get for their amount of their household. Like, so the number of people in their household, and they know their dietary restrictions. They know what they're going to use. So it's not wasteful stuff. So they get to go in and pick, like it's almost like a grocery store, because we still want to give them that dignity aspect. So when we had to go and make those boxes really fast, those 65, it depleted a lot of our Client Select. And so it was just a very scary moment because I was like, what if we have another winter storm? Like they said, I think at 12 o'clock today or something, could happen again until 6 o'clock tonight. And I'm like, we have no more funding for that.
So what's the most critical need? How can people support in this moment? What can people bring today, or where can they donate? What is the need?
So I would say monetary is always important. And I know I hate when you're a nonprofit and you're always like, please give us money. But that's always the biggest thing, because then it can be put where it needs to go. If somebody's wanting to go buy food, that's always very important because of that Client Select. So we have on our social media right now on Facebook and Instagram some of the needs that are, that we need for that, like cereals, oatmeals, canned soup. We don't need any canned green beans or canned corn. Like, please don't bring that. I always tell people, I'm like, anything that you would feed your family, that's what our neighbors like too. So it doesn't have to be the Dollar Tree stuff or the Dollar General. Like if you're at Kroger, pick up an extra couple of items that you're picking up and then donate that. But monetary items, monetary donations on our website are always, those funds can be used for the items that we need, especially for if there's more transient situations that come in for the homeless and different things like that. None of those donations go to payroll or anything like that. It goes straight to our neighbors in need.
Phil, can we drop that link? Perfect. You were already thinking along the same lines. I was like, let's get that link. So you can follow this link, and there's actually a portal where you can make, and I tell you, $1. You would be amazed at this lady and how she's going to stretch that as far as possible. So $1 is not too little. Obviously, as much as you are capable of donating would be a blessing. And then if they want to drop off items, that starts Monday at 9 a.m. and they could drop off between what hours?
It's 9 to 12 and then 1 to 4. Now, again, depending on what Mother Nature decides to do today, if we're here tomorrow, but we always try to be very transparent on social media. Like if we are closed or have to close early, people can also mail a donation. They can call us if they have any questions. They can go to our social media channels. But it's just very important because I always tell people, like I always say, these are neighbors in need. This could be somebody that's sitting next to your child in class, or this could be somebody that you go to church with, or somebody that you're standing in line at Kroger with that's in need. And, we just need to be there to be a helping hand. And like I said, we just will do the best that we can with those donation dollars to make them go the farthest. Because like I said, for me, even mentally was the hardest thing to be able to sit there and say, we can't do it anymore.
Well, and one of the things that as I've sat on the board, I think from time to time, you can be unaware of situations that are occurring right in your backyard. Not because you are selfish or because you are solely focused on yourself. It's just because there's not an awareness level. And I think sitting on the board has really opened my eyes to just the need. And you're right, it literally could be the kid next to my son in class, right? And so being more involved has been something I'm very passionate about. And I love that you guys are truly the hands and feet of Jesus. You guys go out and being on call 24 hours a day. This community has just impressed me over this snowstorm. I mean, so many people have been out plowing driveways and cleaning off sidewalks for elderly. And this is a way that you can support our community and our neighbors right from your warm home, right? Just going on that portal and donating. So I want to tell a little bit about your story. I know we have
Sorry, Jon, before you do that, we had a
Jump,
couple
please.
questions from viewers.
Actually, these are some good ones too, Hope. Do you guys help with light bills as well?
Yes. So we help with utility assistance and rental assistance. That is on a first come, first served basis. We used to take appointments in the afternoon, but I had told my staff now, like all of us have decided, we're just going to take walk-ins because it's too hard to try to do appointments. So if somebody does finish early, it can just be walk-ins. But we do help with utility bills, water bills, deposits for those, rent assistance, and rent deposits.
Awesome. Bill, there's another one up here. Would you schedule a large pickup of food from someone who is remodeling their home and wants to donate everything in the pantry?
Sure would. Call me.
Yeah, that would be huge. Do you mind to, Phil, did I send you her number? Let's put that up. Or
just sort of your cell phone number.
George Pratt, Helping Hand for Hope's number. Right up there. That way, if you do have a large pickup, that would be huge.
And I probably will call you from my cell phone. One time my cell phone did get plastered out. I'm like, let's wait for that long calls.
That's a lot of calls. Any other comments, Bill, that we need to bring up?
What's the phone number that we can share?
270-769-3092. And if they message on social media, I always get those. So it'll be me answering too. So if they message us on Facebook or Instagram, that's me as well.
Perfect.
You have a preferred way? You want them just to call you?
Better. I'll get it either way. So, I mean, it's whichever way. So if it's one of those things, if it's after hours or if it is Mother Nature decides to be herself, then, it's one of those that they can message on social media and I'll answer.
Perfect. All right. Well, I had the privilege of sitting down with you on Hometown Hustle and hearing your full story without giving too much away. Can we share a little bit about what drives you to do this work and why serving people in crisis is so personal to you?
Yeah. So I think for me, I was a single mom. I was homeless at one point. And I had someone that came into my life, well, two people that came into my life that was a married couple that they helped change me for good. And they showed me what living a life like the feet of Jesus, like the hands and feet of Jesus were really like without judgment or anything like that. And so I just always try to remember that every day because days in here are very, very hard. But I just always try to remember like people a lot of times are in fight or flight. I don't care if you have money or you don't have money. Like there's one situation that could happen that could just make you like, whew. And especially me being a former New Yorker at heart, like little things set me off and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we got to get this done. But I think it's just very important. And that's why I love doing this here because even with our thrift store here, our boutique, I wanted like an area to where people could come and shop to where they felt their dignity and it wasn't like just thrown together. So I wanted it to be one of those situations where it was like, okay, people can still get stuff and still afford things. You know what I mean? And not feel like, oh my gosh, I'm being judged if I go in there because everybody can do their stuff. It's, one of those things. And all of that funding goes back to Helping Hand of Hope. But for me, it's just very personal because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to feel like you're being judged if you have to go get food stamps or to wonder, because I did have to get Christmas assistance one year for my son after Superstorm Sandy. And so it's just one of those that I always try to remember and tell people too to remember. Like I said, it could be someone next to you. People don't realize that most Americans don't have a savings account. And if one thing happens, that can throw somebody's world upside down. My stepson had to have a transplant a few years ago and, our life stopped for basically a year. And people don't realize those simple things that go on in your life and happen like that just in that instant. And especially if, let's say your transmission goes out or your hot water heater or something like that, and you don't have a savings or your electricity bill skyrockets because the weather's been so crazy and now you can't pay your rent. And so I just always try to tell people just to remember that because it could be any of us at any moment.
Well, your story is one that is extremely inspiring to me. It's one of the most powerful ones.
Oh, we'll give her a second. Everybody's on the internet. Oh, I think you're back, Rachel.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, guys. Can you hear me now? Well, your story is incredibly inspiring. I also want to give a little shout out to your incredible team because I've gotten to meet a few of them and also all the wonderful volunteers that come in to serve as well. So you do an incredible job leading them, and I'm honored to sit on the board to observe that. So if you want to hear Hope's full story, and trust me, you absolutely do, check out the Hometown Hustle podcast. You can find it on YouTube, and there's also an abridged version on Hardin Local. So go to hardinlocal.com and look for the link in step 5 of our checklist. So
I did want to leave guys really quick. Somebody just messaged me. We need to take an S off of Helping Hands of Hope because it's going to the wrong nonprofit, the scheme code.
Very important.
Oops.
Whoops. I think it's because people always say hands is helpinghandofhope.org, which I do it all the time too. So just so we know, because somebody just texted me and I was like, hold on.
Let's
I
just
even
that real quick.
I even copied and pasted it. Whoever just scanned that code, don't use it.
Don't use it. But I appreciate that because, and I always tell people we all go through seasons. And that's another big thing that I tell people, like we all go through seasons and just remember that.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the long-term goal for Helping Hand for Hope. So where we're at today, how you got there, but then what is your vision? What is the board's vision? What is the one thing our audience can do to help you get to that?
So, okay, that's like a 3-part, I think. So for me, when I first started, we had a lot of different programs, but I started and then we had a global pandemic and like everything. I was like, I started and it was this, and I always joke and say, I had the resume capacity, but it helped that my name was Hope. Those people remember. So I love nonprofit work, and I've always been like, what can we do to make sure that we serve people in the way that we need to serve them? And so for us, a lot of times when our neighbors come to us, like they don't have gas to go all over. And so I like when they can come here and we can meet as many needs as we can before we have to send them to the next place or we have to figure something like that. So my dream is to have a more area to where it is that, because we are budgeting, we are doing these different things, and to have to where we can serve more of our neighbors. Because like I said, we do have so many people that come in, but we have people that situations where it's fire, whether it's cars, whether it's anything like that, that one situation. And so I believe like in my heart, I think if we could get to that, because when I first started, our budget was like $300 and something or $300 and something $1,000. Now we're at over $500,000. In another year, we could be at $1 million. And, we do not get any federal grants whatsoever. We get grants that are local grants and some state grants, but no federal grants, and it's donor dollars. And so Helping Hand of Hope is celebrating its 55th year this year. And so, yes, everybody clap. That's incredible because we're like the oldest nonprofit, that's been in Hardin County that's been doing these things here. And so I think that should tell our donors and our neighbors something because we have been here this long and we have been doing these things. And so it's important because I always say that this is a journey that we all take together. And I appreciate my board because even when I do come with some ideas that I think sometimes people may be like, well, let's, talk this out. I always have that commitment for my board and I always have those listening ears because being a nonprofit leader, you can really feel like you're on an island by yourself. And there's a lot of hard days to where you're like, okay, does anybody understand how I feel? Does anybody know that this is affecting me? And I have a wonderful staff that, like we've said, like I trust them, they trust me, like we're all in this together. And so that's very, very important. And so I think with the fact that we have all these fundamental things and we want to see this grow and we want to see this bigger, even with like our Beds for Children's program, our affordable Christmas program, all of these different things. I think that that's just very important. And it's like I told people, we're in our 55th year. So even if you can donate $55 a month, $55 one time, like that's just so important and such a great thing to have because again, look at how many neighbors have been served. And again, is it somebody that that maybe they haven't told you, or is it you one day that you could be in that situation and know that we're here?
Well, and the need isn't decreasing. As our community expands, the need is increasing. And so it sounds to me like the action step to take from this is that every dollar matters. And if you're able to make a donation of any kind, that's going to go directly right this minute to making sure that people are off the streets and have housing or have bus tickets to get back to family or have enough food to eat right now in this time. So it is, I think everybody's felt the weather and the impact from it. I know a lack of ability to get to work and NTI and all the other fun stuff. So I think this is a great way for us all to come together and donate just what you can to supporting Helping Hand for Hope. So,
and another thing I would like to ask, some of us are blessed to which again, I have one that's graduated and one that's NTI, but we have a house to go to do that. Like, what about these neighbors that they're missing this work and they're not getting paid? And I don't think a lot of people think about that. And then, like I saw on social media yesterday, somebody was like, does anybody know, because I'm a single mom, I have nowhere for my kids to go. I have no sick time, no vacation time. And how are my bills going to get paid? And I think that that's sometimes that we forget about those things too. Just those simple things that are not, I don't want to say taken for granted, but they are, if that makes sense.
right? They're not even luxuries. They're just the standard.
Yeah.
Well, I want to make sure, Phil, did we get all those links adjusted? I want to make sure before we go that everyone knows how to. We've got the phone number in the comments. We've now got a
Yes, we're good. We're good.
QR code. Perfect.
Say about that time.
We'll put all of these, of course, on hardinlocal.com, and I'm assuming Phil will make a Facebook follow-up post. That way people who still want to. So, because we would very much like to continue being a part of supporting Helping Hand for Hope. So no donation is too small, guys. This is neighbors truly helping neighbors. So Hope, thank you so much for everything you do for our community. We love you. We appreciate you, your staff. We appreciate them, the volunteers. We appreciate all of them, especially during this difficult weather in our community. So thank you for everything you do. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. And it's been a blessing. And if anybody needs me, the phone number's on there. And just thank you for letting me share my story a little bit today and then before. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add before you dropped off that I watched your interview on Hometown Hustle, and it was very powerful. I do have both the links. I have the full interview linked on hardinlocal.com in the February 3rd links. I also have the abridged version that we published. You can watch either one. One's an hour, the other one's 18 minutes.
And I appreciate that and that's something I always tell people, like, don't be embarrassed of your story. Like, it's always just chapters in your book. And so it took me a long time to realize that and to be able to talk about things that have happened. And everybody laughed. My friends that did know about it, that watched it, and they were like, hope people only got like 4 years of your life. I'm like, I know, but could be a mini series that we could be watching during snow days. But I appreciate everything and you guys letting me come and join you guys today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again.
Well, I have real quick, Rachel, is well, you business owners on here, when you donate, it is a tax write-off or some type of deduction. So keep that in mind as well if you do own a business and you want to even help put that dollar even more to good use.
Absolutely. Very true, Scott. All right, Phil, are we bringing Jon O'Brien up on the screen? There he is. We missed you. All right. Well, Jon, we are going to jump into what's happening in Hardin County this week. And I imagine that it could be determined based on what happens today with this potential snow. So I feel like every day I wake up and I'm like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen today? I don't know.
That's true. Right now, like I said, the sun's trying to peek out right now, looks like, and it's around 40, so that's not a bad thing. So the snow's melting a little bit. But yeah, we might have more coming.
Hey, I want to take a poll. How many of you guys think that Hardin County schools will be back in this week? And show of hands. Yeah. No, there ain't no school the rest this week, guys. Oh, Scott, you're maybe hopeful?
It kind of depends. Maybe, maybe not. I mean,
they also have to clear the parking lots at all the schools, the high schools especially, because they got to have those kids parking. It's not happening.
And they can't put those buses on the road, unless it's safe.
Yeah, it's pretty rough out there still. I was driving it earlier, and it's like a roller coaster because if you go over the edge just a hair, it like spits you back. You're like, okay, all right.
I'll jump in.
It's definitely a ride. All right, Jon, we'll take it away. Tell us what's potentially happening this week if all goes well.
Well, again, today, be safe if you're going out. Watch the road. Be careful about everybody else driving around because they're not always driving the safest either. But today, we got Bourbon Barrel Tavern. We've got Old Carter on special, as well as the proprietor of that business. Art Carter will be coming down to talk about his whiskey, talk about the process he does when he blends those barrels and things like that. We also have a 27-year-old whiskey right behind me. I think there's one pour left of that. So if you're not here when we open, you're probably not getting that pour. So come on down, get in here early. He'll be here around 4:30 though. Other than that, Wednesday, tomorrow, we've got the rescheduling of that Elvin E. Smith Jr. Library Gallery dedication from 11:30 to 1 p.m. at the Hardin County History Museum. There's going to be refreshments, welcome, dedication, special comments, and self-guided viewing. So you can kind of walk around and check out everything. There's the Trail Tots Chili Supper fundraiser, 5:30 to 7 tomorrow at Pritchard Community Center. The cost is $10 for adults and $5 for children. So if you want a nice warm bowl of chili for a good price, they've got it over there at Pritchard Community Center tomorrow night. Speaking of chili, there's the Motto Mortgage actual 4th annual. His 4th is an annual. Chili Challenge, 11:30 to 2 p.m. on Thursday at the 100 Chase Way Suite 4. chili competition, vote for the winner, and a charity tie-in. Britton, are you going to enter in that chili contest or any other ones this year?
He's muted.
It was my understanding that with the Motto Mortgage crew there, that they were the ones
Yes.
cooking the chili and we were judging.
Oh, really? Oh, that's not very much of a challenge. I mean,
But it's a great challenge because it was delicious. And one of my good friends, Grafton Sizemore, he's one of my close buddies, and I voted for the wrong chili I was supposed to vote. So I got in big trouble because
that's not fair. That's not fair competition.
It didn't blink enough. I told him to blink when I got close.
Hit some of his eye.
We also have the Elizabethtown Junior Women's Club meeting at the Hardin County Chamber of Commerce at 6 to 7 p.m. Friday, we've got the Heartland Songwriters Association of Kentucky Showcase open mic at Water's Edge Winery at 7 p.m. Saturday, it's getting that time. Valentine's is coming up, so the Galentine's Craft Fair is going to be at the Vine Grove City Hall, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's a free event. Local vendors, handmade goods, coffee truck, and raffles. There's also the Girls' Day Out Valentine Edition at 212 South Mulberries. There's going to be a winter clearance down there, 50 to 75% off, so that's a good deal. Date night dinner for two mocktails at the Clean Good Eats Cooking Studio in Radcliff. Registration is required, so make sure you go on and scan that and get your ticket for that. There's a Galentine's dinner at 6:30 at 401 West Poplar. The Unity Runway, Unity on the Runway is a Divine 9 fashion experience at 7 p.m. at the Haycraft. And then Sunday brings us around to the Super Bowl sale at Uniquely Yours Quilts and Crafts in Wrightyville from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., as well as some live poetry over at Flywheel from 3:45 to 6 p.m. Sign-ups for that is 3:45, so get there around then so you can sign up and do your jams.
What's everybody doing for the Super Bowl?
I know. I was just going to ask. I'm curious. Or do you know?
Who's in it?
Patriots and Seahawks.
Okay.
So that's supposed to.
I'm going Seahawks then. Yeah, I'm going Seahawks. I like birds. I like birds more than the New Englanders.
Yeah, I'd like them too better, but I never pick against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So Patriots will know.
It's probably going to be the Patriots.
You remember that one Super Bowl where Seahawks lost because they just didn't run it and they decided to pass it and got intercepted at the last second a few years back? It's like one of those famous. It's one of the most famous blunders of Pete Carroll's career, but that's neither here nor there.
One thing I'll add real quick, John, is this Friday, the Radcliff Small Business Alliance is having their coffee and cards. It happens
nice
on the first Friday of every month, and it's going to be at Apostoli in Radcliff from 8 to 9.
Did they reschedule their gala?
Yes, the gala is rescheduled for February 21st.
Which worked great for me because I forgot to get a ticket, so now I've got more time to get a ticket. So
There's a couple of events in between there, but the most immediate is the coffee and cards. So if you're a business owner, it is open to the public. Maybe you want to start a business, want to get some advice from somebody. This is a great way to network, get some advice, and kill two birds with one stone, drink some coffee.
Awesome. Guys, if you all know of an event that we might have missed, obviously we try to cover as many as possible, but the community is big. So if you know an event we might have missed, make sure to drop it in the comments and we'll share that with Hardin local community. All right, guys. Well, we're going to transition into the Hardin County housing market update. So I've got some insights to share with you guys on what's happening in our local real estate market. So the information I'm going to share with you is from the week of the 27th of January through today, February 3rd. Everything that I share comes from the Heart of Kentucky Association of Realtors, MLS. So I am Rachel Brantingham. I am your local housing market update. And we're going to talk through what's happening. So here's a snapshot of what you're seeing in the market right now. Over the last week, we've had 19 new listings come on the market, which is actually a kind of impressive number considering the elements that we're dealing with. We've had several that we want to go up, but of course, photographing them in the snow and ice has been a bit of a challenge. But 19 homes went live. We saw 17 homes go under contract. So I just want to celebrate that because these agents are getting out and risking legs and limbs to open doors, and we saw a ton of showings on our properties last week. So if you want to get out and see some homes, contact your local agent because they're still getting out there and doing that despite all the snow. So, and 25 new families moved into their new homes. So even with the winter weather and snow slowing things down a bit, homes are still moving, buyers are active, and transactions are continuing to close. So looking at market pace, the average days on market over the last 30 days, keep in mind this is just for Hardin County, went up by 1 day to 93 days. Obviously, I don't think that that's going to be, it's not telling us that there's a huge slowdown in the market. I think that's just specific to the fact that we've got snow and ice on the ground. So, but just 1 day of an increase there. From an inventory standpoint, there are currently 367 active homes on the market. We've seen 59 homes sell in the last 30 days. Currently, we're at a 6.2 months of inventory on the market. Still pretty balanced. That's a drop from about 8 months as of last week. But of course, as I explained last week, that was taking information from over the holiday season where during Christmas and New Year's, title companies are closed, lenders are closed. So we're coming back more in line with what would be a very typical market for both buyers and sellers. It's not really leaning one way or the other. So very balanced. We're no longer in an extreme seller's market, but buyers don't have unlimited leverage either. Strategy really matters on both sides. And I would say one of the most important things is proper pricing. Pricing your home not at the very peak of its value and coming in line with a more aggressive approach will do you really well during this market condition. So over the last 30 days, the average list price here in Hardin County was $346,364, while the average sold price came in at $297,769. So that gap tells us that buyers are very value driven right now. Interest rates are holding between that 5.85 and 5.99 for the conventional buyer. VA, FHA, and USDA rates are closer to that like 5.65, 5.75. So that is helping create a more stable environment for buyers. I think buyers are more incentivized now in comparison to how they have been in the past 2 years. And because of that, we're starting to see some homes that have sat on the market for some time start to be moving again. So there's one thing that I want to spend just a few minutes on today, and what we're seeing with homes that have been sitting on the market. And if you're just not seeing the traction that you expected and or you are comfortable holding that home for some time if you had a return on your investment, I want to talk through something that my team does specifically, and that's where we list a home for rent and for sale at the same exact time. So we've tested this model multiple times now, and we set a rent price and we set a sale price and we offer it on the market and we see which one happens first. And obviously, if we get that perfect renter at that perfect price, my sellers are prepared to rent that property for some time. So, but this could also be considered kind of a convertible option. If your property has been sitting and you're just not seeing showings, I would look at reduction in price. That is probably your biggest problem. And B, you might consider trying some other alternatives, such as, say, the rental market, which we are still holding steady. Of course, your multi-units, those have dipped a bit in price as far as rent rates. But we're still seeing a lot of our single family homes renting to either military personnel that are coming into the area, or we've seen some contractors coming into the area. So, but that's something to consider. Has your home been sitting on the market for some time with no real movement? It might be time to consider another option, such as maybe a rent or a price reduction. Okay. So like I mentioned before, you really want to go into the market with a realistic price. The first couple weeks on the market are your hottest moment in the sale process. It's where you see the most momentum around your property. And so missing the mark with the list price can really end up costing you a lot of money in the end with price reductions over the course of time. Buyer mindset. So buyers today are focused more on their monthly payment, not just the overall purchase price. So they're paying close attention to the condition, like what's it going to cost them over time to update the property? Are the bigger items the HVAC systems, foundations, roofs, things like that? So offering a 1-year warranty could be an incentive to kind of move them forward. They're also watching days on market and price reductions, guys. So going in to the market initially at an aggressive number is going to do better for you and probably reap you a higher return on your investment than trying for that top dollar. Of course, we're continuing to monitor the impact of blue oval on our community. We're not really seeing anything that is currently leading us to believe that it is going to have any impact on the housing market itself. That is not to consider rentals. Obviously, we've seen an impact there, but those rent rates are just dipping slightly, and then we're still seeing things remain full. So not a huge impact there. Overall, this is a market where both buyers and sellers can win, but only with the right strategy. Buyers are acting on value, and sellers who are realistic, proactive, and flexible are seeing results. Momentum is building, guys. Last week, I've had a home that was a new construction. It sat on the market for several months with very limited activity, finally go pending. And I'm seeing that across the market. That's not specific to just my listings. We're looking at properties that are finally going pending that have sat for some time. And so we're really building momentum as we go into spring. So I think if I were a buyer considering purchasing in the next 6 months, I would be looking now, because those prices have dipped because of inventory building up over the holiday season. And of course, interest rates have dipped slightly. So I think as both a seller, you can take action now, because we're starting to see those properties and buyers pouring back into the market. And as a buyer, I think you can get a really great deal. So as always, if you want a hyper local breakdown for your neighborhood, price point, or investment goals, I'm happy to help. I love the strategy side of this, and I love looking at real estate as a way to make money. So we'd love to talk with you more. So thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another market update.
We can always use more ways to make money. So
Yes. Well,
VPN.
real estate is commonly known as the number one way to maximize your wealth. So it's just, of course, going into it with a very clear approach and strategy and figuring out what works for you and what your threshold is for investing and how you want to approach it. So, all right, guys, Britten and Michelle, we're going to jump into our experienced eater. And I wanted to mention I went to Capri's this weekend, all thanks to you guys.
That's great. And for those of you that lost, Facebook had an issue. I don't think we're actually live on Facebook about the time you started, but I dropped a link for our YouTube, because YouTube's still streaming.
Okay.
So hopefully, I mean, I know the people that got dropped can't see this right now unless they saw my link that said come to the YouTube. But
Facebook, do on Facebook.
well, that's just today in general. Today's been a weird tech day.
Yeah.
Actually, the past few days have been.
I was going to say yesterday, it was an outage that I had to take care of.
I've never had Facebook drop before ever. This is the first time.
Oh, yeah.
So
Speaking of eating, I'm gonna go eat a burger with no bun and no tots, and just it's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be amazing. It's just not gonna be the complete package.
That's fine.
But I'll be watching on YouTube.
John.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Yeah. See ya.
see ya, John. All right, let's get this.
So Rachel, how was it?
Oh, it was so good. I got, oh man, I'm going to forget what it is now, but it was covered in mushrooms and noodles and a white wine sauce. It was veal. It was so out of this world delicious. Like, worth every penny.
Amazing. Give me a second. You guys can keep talking. I gotta get this queued up better. It's not quite right.
Hey, guys.
They're gonna move it.
Well, I'm super excited about today's. As I mentioned, I have probably been to Kentucky Fried Chicken maybe once or twice in my entire life. And so you're probably going to make me hungry again. Well, I'm really excited that it's Lee's famous recipe in Radcliff. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. So once or twice in my life, I've been there. So I'm super excited to see the menu. It's been a long time for me.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're
Well,
good now.
one thing I'll tell you is that there is some animosity and there's some history between the Lee's franchise and KFC.
You did guess at that name.
Apparently, Lee's, I believe, was started by a cousin of Harlan Sanders, of the Colonel, and there was a little bit of a break. And the loyalty is a very, very staunch thing. I mean, and realistically, I haven't met many people that prefer KFC over Lee's. But it's the difference between a multinational corporation versus a chain corporation that I would still consider as semi-local. We have seen Lee's in Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky. And so if you get a chance to get to one, and I find out too that not all of them are equal, because one of the comments on this review that when we posted was because I tried to show the menu, and someone commented that was in Jefferson County and said that the Lee's here, the menu is much more expansive than the one in than the one that they go to in Jefferson County.
So they're franchises, but can be.
Lee's Chicken in E-Town long time ago.
Yeah, that's where
Put some hot sauce on it.
Well, let's get this thing rolling because I know Lee's famous chicken in Radcliff is a staple of the area. So
Yep.
Let's see what you got to say.
Experience Eater here. We're in Radcliff, Kentucky today. We're doing lunch carry out. We're hitting up one of our favorites, Lee's famous recipe. Let's go see what they have for us today.
I'm getting hungry.
Well,
Dude, just down the road.
And we're going to lunch. We're going to dinner tonight for. All right, guys. So for the carry out today, we got these are the Lee's spicy dippers. Got a couple of sides. Got a box full of strips and biscuits. This is always one of our favorites. And got plenty of dipping sauces too. Can't wait to see how they go.
You getting hungry yet, Rachel?
There's the ham strips, spicy dippers, buttery biscuit, slaw, and potato salad. All right. So this is one of my favorites here. We're dipping this in the bonsai sauce, spicy dipper. That is so good. So good. So why is the spicy dipper your favorite?
Well, they take the big chunks of meat and they soak them in a marinade, a spicy marinade, and then they bread them and fry them. So I love the spicy. You can get their chicken, bone-in chicken spicy too, but man, oh man, spicy dippers are my favorite.
With the ears and the buffalo sauce.
Oh, that's happening. I love spicy stuff.
Yeah, me too. I love it.
They are spicy.
We just
They are spicy. They're great.
One year for the Super Bowl, we had a little get together at the house, and we actually we're friends with the owner, and so Michelle made a special call because I think it was actually for my birthday, and she was able to get the strips done in the spicy dipper marinade for me. We got 50 strips that were spicy, and for the life of me, I don't know why that's not on the menu full time because it's an absolute game changer, fantastic. I think one of the things we try to do mom and pops, we don't do a lot of chains. And one of the things I'll say about Lee's. There's a difference when you have a chain and the owner or the franchisee or the owner is in the business daily, and that's one of the things I can say about the Radcliff location is Kim Dennis is the owner. Kim and Lonnie are there. Kim's there every day, and they really do a great job of ensuring customer service, great product, great people, great process. It's easy to do. For next week, I was telling Michelle we've got to work on our local stuff because with the weather and everything kind of being shut, we haven't been out a whole lot. But I've got a little bit of a backlog of some stuff that was done out of town, but I got to get some more local things done.
I know somebody went. Who was it? Somebody else talking to that's part of the podcast. I can't think who it was. Said that. Oh wait, it wasn't part of. It was some of our friends at Young Professionals. They went and met with Cosmic Golf, and they were saying to tell you guys to stop online.
Yeah, and they've got a new menu.
Oh, a new menu. Jeremy and I are friends on. We've known each other since back in my network marketing days, and he would told me that he and even when he had the Adams Family food truck when he was doing all the grilled cheeses and things, and he told me he was really liked the menu, and he's invited us out. So that may be something that so going. I do. I could go to one of the bays and work on my swing a little bit to get ready for when the snow leaves to be able to get back out on the golf.
Well, you made me hungry for Lee's. I know the boys and I are going for dinner, so
I'm gonna tell you we feed 5 or 6 people here when we get lunch, and we can do it. Well, going to Lee's, we can do it for under $50, which is that's a lot of value with their meals that they have.
It is.
So for me, like a chicken place is similar to a barbecue place because like the chicken, the main thing has to be good. The special thing at least is the fact that the sides are all great as well. Love the slaw. It's my favorite slaw. I love the potato salad. The baked beans are absolutely incredible. I love the wedges. So it's great not only to have great chicken, but the sides are all fantastic. So that I think is game changer for lots of places. So
I would agree with you.
Love it. So good. Not the chicken pot pies in the winter.
Oh,
I know they had those.
That's under $5 too.
Yeah, it's really good. And they make them in-house.
Okay, well, that's happening. So what was it? Was the spicy dippers? I need those with a spicy marinade, and then I need the chicken pot pie.
That'll do it.
Done.
The sauce.
Yeah.
And I know we probably mentioned this before, but did we on stream or was it before? But it's Britton's birthday today. Did we?
Did it at the beginning?
Did we? Okay. Couldn't remember. But anyway, we're not going to sing to you.
Three clicks from the top of the hill, so that's the.
Well, Britton said the only thing he wants for his birthday is for Phil and Scott to sing happy birthday to him live on air.
I can sing it.
Happy birthday. I don't want to cost guys. No offense. I don't want to cost any viewership. I don't want to put yourself out there like that.
That's fine. Whatever.
I think you're right being concerned about losing viewership. So
Saying.
well,
I just know how it would be. I know how I would feel if Scott said it was Rachel's birthday and that she wanted me to sing to her. I'd be like, well, she can keep wanting. I'll send her a nice card.
Britton's birthday today, and of course, we're going to go and have. The plan is, weather permitting, we were going to go up to Louisville, go have a really nice dinner out and about tonight at one of our favorite places. So that may show up on somewhere, one of our review things. But of course, it's not a local place, but.
what's
nice
that
to-
favorite spot?
It's an old school steakhouse called Pat's Steakhouse. It's on Brownsboro Road, Irish steakhouse. And the first time I ever ate there, my cousin was living in Louisville. She was working at Jewish in the ICU, and her husband was in med school at U of L. And they took us, and it's a place that I've been going to for 20 years, and I absolutely love it. And
We went there on our second day.
yeah, I took I wanted to impress her, so I had to break out the big gun and say, "Hey, I'm not." Well, it was funny because I had been doing I had a presentation that day for my MLM business, and I'd been to Danville, and I came back, and we were kind of texting back and forth, and she said, "Well, I was supposed to go do something with somebody else, but I hadn't heard from them." And in typical Britten fashion, I said, "Well, hey, blow those people off. I've got a reservation in a nice restaurant. I'll pick you up." I said, if they haven't reached out to you by now, I said, don't leave me hanging. And we went and had dinner, and we have been together almost since our first date. I mean, we had a little bit of time there, but I couldn't get rid of her. I tried really hard.
He was such a good cook. There was no way I was leaving.
Good for you.
No way. I was like, let this man feed me. We'll have a good time tonight, and hopefully the weather is decent enough. And if it isn't, then we'll scoot it back a day or two. But I definitely encourage people to make the little road trip to Lee's and eat. It is exceptional, really.
Well, thank you guys very, very much. And Britton, happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
All right, guys. Well, obviously, I think we've covered the comments. I know that there was Bethany said, have a great day, friends.
I said a great day. I also had another comment that came through a minute ago, but it didn't pop up for some reason, from Linda Shoenate. She had asked yesterday if the county would get to her 4-season subdivision, and she posted a minute ago, "Thanks for getting some of the snow and ice off my subdivision 4-season yesterday. Now can you come back tomorrow or Thursday?" Well, I guess he's talking to Hardin County government, but thank you for the post.
Yes, thank you so much.
We also got John saying popcorn, yellows, stripes, smile. Oh, I think it's just the way of probably the smiley face, and then my software changed it to that.
I was like, what was he doing? Hilarious. So funny. All right, guys. Anybody have any personal shout outs before we sign off today? I don't think I do either. All right, everyone. Well, here's how you can stay connected with Hardin Local. So go to hardinlocal.com for all of our links and resources. Of course, the links that we mentioned today from Helping Hand of Hope, those are going to be up there. We'll post them on our Facebook as well. Keeping in mind that we're now available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. And follow us there on whichever one is your favorite platform. Follow us on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and of course, follow us on Facebook. Bill, Scott, of course, John has already left us, Britten and Michelle, thank you all for being here with me today. And a huge thank you again to Hope Burke for joining us and sharing the incredible work of Helping Hand of Hope and everything that they're doing for our community. So, another great episode, guys. And to everyone watching, thank you for being part of our Hardin Local community. We're so grateful that you spent time with us today. I know it's been a rough couple weeks. We hope you're hanging in there, staying warm. We'll see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Until then, support local, stay connected, and enjoy all the amazing things happening right here in Hardin County. And one last thank you to TekTel for supporting today's episode. Details, of course, are at hardinlocal.com. Guys, stay warm and safe. I know that groundhog saw his shadow. I'm going to cook him for dinner. So stay warm and stay safe out there, and everybody have a wonderful week.
You do. Appreciate y'all.